Hey guys, and welcome back to the Yellow Captain Guide series. This one's going to be focusing on legendary items, what legacies to pick, things like that, swaps. This is the second video in the series, and it was a requested topic from the comments, so I do pay attention to that and try to get those videos out. So this one's going to be a little shorter. We'll just jump right into it. There are 3 legendary items you need for Yellow Captain, particularly in combat. You will need 4 for out of combat and in combat, but we'll just focus on the 3 you need. So your sort of main legendary items are going to be an emblem and a one-handed weapon, so you can have a shield, and then you will have a unimbued swap for Shield of the Dunedain. So just to kind of jump right into it, for your one-handed weapon, you're not going to need a whole lot of legacies. There's a couple that are very important. Some of them you won't even have to put scrolls of empowerment in because it doesn't change the stats. One of those is your battle hardened incoming damage. This increases the percentage of damage reduction applied by your battle hardened buff. So takes it from 5% incoming melee damage reduction to a 15% melee damage reduction. So you don't need to level this one up because the only stat that increases is your in defensive Middle Earth stats, so you'll get a whopping 30 more vitality and other stats, so feel free to upgrade it if you want. It's just not very appealing to me. So you will need this one. This is extremely core to your rotation. 10% damage reduction is huge, especially since after watching my previous video you'll realize you should have about 95% uptime on that damage reduction. The next is a defensive armor strike. This is just kind of a placeholder. You can have anything you want in this slot. This is really unnecessary. I don't upgrade it because it's essentially 6,000 to 7,000 physical mitigation as well as some resistances. Super underwhelming, but there's not a whole lot of legacies you could replace this with. If I would replace it with anything, it'd be Will for the extra tactical mitigation. Next is one you're going to want to upgrade with your empowerment scrolls, which is your Muster Courage Fear Resist. This percentage scales up with your the level of the legacy. So at max it'll be 50% plus the 20% base stat is a 70% fear resist applied to your fellowship or raid partition, as well as a nice little bonus to crit defense. So this one is very important to have upgraded quickly. The next is another kind of placeholder. Have any stat you want in here. I chose Routing Cry damage because why not? I haven't upgraded it. It's not important. There's just not enough legacies for Yellow Captain in the weapon. Area of effect healing. Max this one out. This is great. It'll increase your heals per second. This applies to almost all of your abilities. Your Muster Courage self-heal, if you're running that, will not be affected by this one. Vitality is a great stat to have for the placeholder. You can max this or not. It's only going to increase the vitality by 60 from legacy level 52 to 83. So it's not a huge stat bump. Finally, the last one on your weapon that you're going to want to have maxed out is Battle Hardened Outgoing Healing. So this will take it from a 5% outgoing healing buff to a 40% outgoing healing buff, which will be up 95% of the time. This one's huge. Max this one out. And that's about it for your weapon. You can have it as a sword for the 5% bonus damage from being a man or high elf. You're going to want to have Vitality of the Eldar Days 3, which you can barter for after doing a few throne runs. This is a weapon title upgrade. Gives you 125 vitality and converts your damage to Beleriand, which is the best damage type. Next, we'll have our emblem. Starting where we ended, take Enduring Vitality 3 on this one. It'll get you tactical mitigation and vitality. And as far as legacies are concerned, you're going to want to have Last Stand Heal. This takes your heal up from 20% to 42.4%. It's a very nice heal as soon as you come out of Last Stand, so you'll be at 1 health while you're in Last Stand, and then you'll pop all the way up to more than half of your health because of your incoming healing increases. The next one is a placeholder. I chose light type damage. Most captains go with vitality. It's completely up to you, doesn't matter. Melee skills healing, max this one out, very important. It's going to increase your Gallant Display, your Inspire. It's very good. Shield of the Dunedain, incoming healing. This one is not going to be applied. I'll go into that later. It has to do with your swap. This is another placeholder that you don't need. So you can replace that with Will or Might or whatever you'd like. Don't run this one. You're not going to be using it. Healing, critical magnitude. This is very important. Max this one out. Vocal skills healing, also important. Max it out. Rallying cry healing, important. Max it out. So your emblem is going to be very healing centric, which makes sense since it has a base increase to your tactical healing rating. So that is the legacies for the 2 imbued legendary items that you're going to want to run. As far as relics go, Ithil settings, the glimmering Ithil settings can be found from running instances in Minas Morgul. You're going to want on your emblem the Ithil setting of resistance for tactical mitigation and resistance, which are both very useful for raids. Glimmering Ithil Gem of Vitality, it's a nice boost to health and crit defense. Ithil Rune of Binding, this increases your tactical healing rating, which is pretty significant because it is sort of the first stat that is then affected by the percentages from your legendary items. It'll increase your healing per second by quite a bit. So the Ithil Rune of Binding is nice for your emblem. The Veil's Device of Protection, you can craft this. You need to run Anvil a few times. It is very helpful. It's not a huge boost to stats, but it is something. So for your relics on your weapon, you're going to want the Ithil setting of resistance again, Ithil Gem of Vitality again, and the Ithil Rune of Healing. You're not going to get the tactical combat rating because you're not focused on doing damage. So the extra 45k outgoing healing is a nice boost to your healing per second. You can slot another Veil's Device of Protection in there. So that about covers it for legendary items. The last thing you're going to need is your swap. This is going to be used for your red captain line and your yellow captain line. So you're going to want to have bleed pulses for your red line, Shield of the Dunedain duration, and you can slot a little bit of vitality in there. As you can see, I have some relics for vitality. This is just so when I swap for my Shield of the Dunedain or my bleeds when I'm in red line, I don't lose health. So you can see as I swap over here, I drop 1,000 health. If I didn't have those relics, I'd drop maybe 10,000. So it's important to have a little bit of vitality in your swaps so that you're not essentially damaging yourself when you swap those, because it will be frequent depending on what line you're running. So having the swap is very nice. It affects your Shield of the Dunedain. As you can see, it's duration 10 seconds without the swap, and with the swap it is 20 seconds. So the reason the emblem for increased incoming healing on the Shield of the Dunedain is not important is because you're never going to be using Shield of the Dunedain with this emblem equipped. You're only going to be using it with your swap. So it's another free stat. So that should cover it for legendary items for the yellow cappy. I just wanted this video to be quick and informative, so hopefully you guys got some good information out of this. But I will be uploading in the future to finish out this guide, so whatever you'd like to see next, just let me know in the comments. Thanks, guys.